Welcome to the Curling Champions Tour, Stockholm Ladies Curling Cup 2016, coming to you live from Danderyd Curling Arena, just to the north of Stockholm. I'm Richard Harding, and with me today is Armin Harder. We're bringing you live coverage of the quarter-final game between Team Kim from Korea and SIGFRIDSSON from Sweden.
Morning, Richard.
And you can see the quarter-final lineup. Kim versus SIGFRIDSSON, Fleming from Scotland v Ogasawara, Tirenzoni Sidorova from Russia, and Hasselborg from Sweden versus Team Jennifer Jones, who's not here, Caitlin Laws skipping from Canada. And this is the team lineup from Korea. The lead is Young-mi Kim. Then we have Son Young Kim, and then we have Kyung A Kim, and skipping we have Un Chong Kim. And for Sweden, Margareta SIGFRIDSSON is skip and lead, Maria Wennerström at second, Christina Bertrup third, and the skip is Sissi Ostlund. Their coach is Fredrik Hallström. And the Korean team will start this first end.
Pretty solid performance this weekend. Korean team, one loss in the round robin play. Korean national champions. From Useong, Korea, which is down in the southeast part of South Korea.
Yes, they have a four-sheet club in Useong.
A very nice one, very good ice conditions.
Very cold one.
Yeah, it's a little chilly sometimes, but I understand they're doing a lot of work on that. They will be hosting the Pacific Championships this
They will
this fall,
November.
Yep.
So Young-mi Kim, her second stone. In the first end, a controlled weight take out. She will hit on the nose. And Margareta SIGFRIDSSON, familiar style of the Swedish skip. Skip and lead, SIGFRIDSSON. Even though the team has a new skip in Sissi Ostlund, the other three players are the same, playing in the same positions they used to when they played under Maria Pritz for many seasons. Maria Pritz is retired, she's coaching now.
Coaching another team that's playing out here, Hasselborg. Hasselborg going up against Jones' team being skipped by Caitlin Laws this weekend. And Scotland's Fleming against Ogasawara, Japan. And Tirenzoni, Switzerland against Sidorova, Russia, also on today. So we'll keep you updated on those scores as we go along.
Maria Wennerström then, second player for the SIGFRIDSSON team. She struggled a lot in the round robin game that we featured them in. See how she gets on in this quarter final. So the second shot of Son Young Kim at second. Hit and run out, removing the guard. Ultra defensive at this stage.
Yeah, it's early morning, first draw. Have to see what the ice is like. Most of these teams played yesterday afternoon. Conditions will be a little different in the morning than they are in the afternoon, so test each other out. These teams did not face each other in group play, so kind of observe what each team is doing.
And third player for Korea now. Chong Kim. No, sorry. Hyung A Kim. Chong Kim, the skip of this team.
So SIGFRIDSSON wants to throw the rock up to the other side of the house. Change the ice a bit, get a good read on it.
Christina Bertrup. Long-term third player in this Swedish team. She will throw the stone into the house this time. I expect a takeout to be thrown from Hyung A Kim.
Lite tajtare! Tid! Försiktigt! Ligger tid! Bra fart! Tid bak 4. Bara tid. Bra fart. Framför. Bra. Bra Nina.
Good draw weight there from the Swedes.
Bra. Bra. 92, 98.
So first of the skip stones from Chong Kim. She will hit and roll to the centre of the house, just behind the tee line. This end set to be
지금 나오는 거 괜찮아?
an end of hitting. Swapping hits in the house. Sissy Östlund. I'll just remove this and perhaps roll a touch to introduce a different line for the next takeout.
On the world team ranking, order of merit, which combines the World Curling Tour rankings and the Curling Champion Tour rankings. Sigfridsson's ranked 21st, and Kim is ranked 12th. So 10 place difference between 9 place difference between these two teams. This Kim team, very solid performer over the last couple of years. Haven't always won the national championships. It's the first time they've won the national championships in the last little while, but certainly the best performing Korean team on the tours in Canada and around the rest of the world on the Champions Tour. Good draw weight.
So the last stone of the end coming up, and it will be Sissy Ostlund to play this shot. And she will want to hit and run out to retain the last stone advantage going into end number 2. And you can see the other games going on behind us. Successfully accomplished hit and run. Clear house. So the score will remain at 0-0 going into the second end, with the Sigfridsson team holding last stone advantage.
Att det är fina papper.
Ut och ta de dragen någon såg jag.
So as before, this end commences with first stone being played by Youngmi Kim.
Should be looking to put this into the top of the house, front of the tee line, get a good position on it, and then we'll see if it's going to be a center guard. So I assume now Sigfridsson will probably put up a corner guard. Ostlund standing in the house, Sigfridsson skipping, throwing lead rocks. So quarterfinals here and the ladies are going on. Also at the Swiss Cup in Basel, the men are in action at the quarterfinals going on there. Got Brad Gushu's team being skipped by Nichols this week. And they're playing against Nicholas Edin from Sweden and Olsrud against Kyle Smith. Peter de Cruz from Switzerland playing against Stefan Wallstadt from Norway, and Murdoch Mout, 2 Scottish teams going against each other in the quarterfinals of the CCT Swiss Cup in Basel, Switzerland. Busy weekend. Champions Tour, also a mixed doubles CCT event going on in Portage la Prairie in Manitoba. There's nice weight.
Well, nicely played from Youngmi Kim with her second stone there.
So a draw attempt around that blue corner guard now. Looks like the ice is a little tighter today, Richard. Get a little less ice than yesterday. It's been huge swings here all weekend.
Yeah, it does look a little bit less ice given there. pulls a long way at the end, and that's been catching the teams out a bit. This is a good-looking shot from Sigfridsson. Great shot. Just exactly where she was requested to go.
It was curling a good half meter more yesterday. Maybe that'll change as the game goes on.
Yeah, once the pebble comes off,
Yeah.
it'll curl a little bit more.
Nice raised takeout. Koreans counting one on that with that yellow one on top of the house. Looks like Sigfridsson would like to try to go behind that guard again. This is looking pretty short. Not going to make the house.
Försök få isär dem lite bara så de inte ligger rakt.
Well,
Lite vikt.
Wennerström played a lot of shots like that in the round-robin game that we watched.
That's right.
Just short and tight of line,
Certainly,
crashing into the guard.
certainly hoping she'll have a better game this quarterfinals. I'm assuming she did play better in some of the other games, or the team probably wouldn't have made the quarterfinals. That was a game against. Do you remember what game that was? Oh, against Team Jones. Yep, she definitely had a tough one there. Need to work it, try and get past it. They might have just set up a double.
Så jag tror egentligen att samma fart är bra. Lite mer. Ja.
This is interesting. Sigfridsson just ignoring those rocks.
80.
Attempting another draw behind the guard.
Om ni vill.
She's assuming she'll get in behind the guard. She'll be in the 8-foot, which means she'll
Ja, vi behöver dra oss.
be in a better position than those two that are in the 12-foot.
Kör nu, nu kommer linjen.
This one needs to curl a bit though. She's past the guard.
It's
Better
looking pretty
weight,
good.
but it's not curling too much after coming into the house.
Det är bra. 80-85.
Certainly some of that stone will be visible from the other end for the next stone from
Pampa.
Son Young Kim. Yeah, not much visibility from the other end.
Good
Curled a
in-
bit at the end.
Yeah, got in there nicely.
Solid delivery from the Korean team. Got well coached in the delivery.
Peter Gallant, having done a lot of work with them in the last year. Peter Gallant from Prince Edward Island. And this Korean team also pretty well a professional team. That's all they do is curl.
Kan också gå runt. Skulle behöva göra något här. Ryggadden. Det är svårt att komma in, men... Ja, de kan ju fortfarande runda, va? Sen. Då behöver vi ju runda. Ganska nära. Vet inte, eller så får vi runda. Det känns som det kan bli struligt, men det är okej att lägga en gard. Alltså, vi har inte bestämt något.
But you can't play a run on those yellow ones because you might drive that inside yellow one back onto the blue. So maybe just replace the guard here or get a better guard up front. Protect her shot rock.
Nära på om vi lägger här och de rundar här.
Ja, då blir det
Den
strul.
gillar jag inte riktigt.
Nej,
Så jag funderar på om vi ska göra den istället.
spela den då.
Ja,
Grejen är att det finns inte jättemycket att dra på för den här.
nej.
Så då vill man stanna där i sådana fall.
Ja. Jämn höjd.
I don't know if that's a good place to put it.
Ja.
Yeah.
För de gjorde nyss den där stenen.
Ja. Men kanske egentligen är hit vi ska då.
Ja. Jag tänker mig att det här är bra.
Ja.
That's probably a better place to put it than drawing behind those two yellow ones.
Inte så jätteomknackt då. Några stenar.
And all of this
Stanna på om du rundar centern. Hon har
coming to the
dubbelchans där.
end to look at the shot and going all the way back down just takes forever and lengthens the game.
Jag tycker det är bra. Ja, det är bra.
Jag tror att 0 är 10 och sopar vi då tror jag vi får en liten.
Gets probably added to when the lead is the skip. That probably makes it more of an issue. So Christina Bertrup at third for the Sigfridsson team. Just trying to follow that bluestone round that's already pretty much hidden behind the guard. To lie 2 round there. Has she got enough line? She has. Well, she just over curled a fraction and
Yes.
popped the second of these blue stones out so that it will now be visible a little bit more from the other end for the Korean third player.
Still in a pretty good position though. Just get narrowly past that guard and maybe hit and roll back into the middle.
Well, that's the indication, just to tap that out. At a controlled take out weight and roll into the middle behind the guards.
And open the back one.
Well, just caught in between the shots. Either you have to go for one or the other, and of course just caught the slightest touch on the first one, which
Yeah, did move
edged it over and ran the shooter out of play. So
Did move it enough though to count or third shot. And that yellow one now counter on the top biting the white is now second shot. So it wasn't a total miss.
Är det framför?
Ja.
Probably give that
Skulle kunna tänka mig den
2
här.
points maybe out of 4. You're hard.
Mycket marginaler på den, men den är bra. Ja, jag gillar den. Det blir bra tycker jag.
Lite annat spår, men den här är nära. Nytt spår.
Ja, jag
kan tänka mig att det kanske är lite kärvt men gå på 10.
Ja.
It looks like she's going to replace the guard now. Or put a guard up.
Linjen är bra. Ni kan inte dra den så långt. Bara stanna.
It's a very long guard. You might still be able to get around that and get at the one in the 4-foot. It's a big hole there, and there's a lot of movement. There's maybe even a possible double on this side too.
나이스야. 근데 확실하지 않으면 조금 이게 보여?
아니야.
아 이거밖에 안 보여? 아니 맞고 이렇게 돼서
바다가 좀 멀어 될것 같긴 한데 히트는 몇 가지 될것 같은데.
컨트롤? 아니 방 노멀? 그냥 노멀?
노멀인가?
Normal and control are two new Korean words.
히트 롤 보고 그 다음에 더블인데 더블 맞으려면 좀 얇아야 돼서 그냥 히트 롤 보고 가는 게 나은 것 같아. 노멀?
Just needs to hit about a quarter of that rock on the inside, that blue one on the right. Roll over and take out the shot rock and the 4-foot.
So the first of the skip stones here on the second end then, being thrown by Unchong Kim, looking for the roll here.
Close. Well, she does end up shot
Oh, nicely played.
with backing.
Really couldn't have got that much better.
Linjerna med en hack kvar. Som att linjerna med en
Problemet är ju att ta tillräckligt tunt.
Because that'll work. Yeah. So you see here, well protected to go with it.
mer än här va?
Ja. Samtidigt som jag skulle helst inte vilja riva den där garden.
De där gula. De blåa är ju precis.
Visst är det gul?
Might be able to pick the yellow one out with the intern.
Det ser ut som
Men det är väl ändå
bakkanterna.
det vi ska gå
I
på.
think there's enough separation on.
I don't think so.
You can come around that long. It's a fairly long guard. You just need to catch about a quarter of it. You don't want to catch too much more of it anyways. And just push it out.
Inte trycka ut
I think there is enough separation between the yellow and the blue
Minnet var 98.
to be able to do that.
Nästan kanske som 80 räcker då. Så blir det tajt på...
To get that shot, then definitely get 4 points out of 4.
There's enough separation there, so it's. I think it's Sissy's first rock. Is that correct? Yes, it is.
3 stones to go then. 2 for the Ostland team, or the Sigfridsson team with Ostland throwing the last stones, and 1 for
Ja, det är en sån bit.
Unchong Kim.
I'm not sure exactly what she's doing here. She's
Not
trying
what
it,
you suggested.
trying
anyway.
it direct.
I don't think.
Or is she trying to drive that yellow guard that's out front back? But that's a dangerous rock to play. End up sitting 4 for Korea if she hits this wrong. I think she has to play this direct. She doesn't want to drive another yellow rock in there. It'll really bend at the end, so if she gets close by the guard, she's got a good chance of making this shot.
Well, she's having a go at your shot, Armin.
Yeah, it's looking very good too.
Super shot.
See, ye of little faith, Richards.
Called the shot, made the shot.
Absolutely.
Threaded that stone through the eye of the needle there between that long blue guard and the shorter yellow one.
정파? 약간 바깥?
Of course, if you did get through as she did, the prize was good because you tap it out and roll your shooter behind these pile of yellow guards.
이쪽으로 갈 것 같은데 좀. 그냥
So, nice result.
이쪽으로 가야 된다고? 이쪽으로 맞으면 더 이쪽으로 가니까.
안쪽보다는 이쪽이 잘.
안쪽보다는.
근데 거의 붙어 있어가지고 어디 맞든 좋을 것 같아.
웨이트 노멀?
너무 좋아요.
너무 센가? 아니면 컨트롤? 노멀?
She could drive that. Well, that's what she's going to try.
웨이트는 노멀이지.
It'd be interesting to see what happens. There's a couple of options here. She could hit it direct and just stick it there.
점사? 점사?
Well, is it going to stick or is it going to go through between the two?
Well,
I might catch the one on the button.
yeah, it really depends on how she hits it, because
Yeah.
there is a bit of a drag effect. Those rocks are a little bit closer together. But if she hits it, she can't hit it on the nose. She needs to hit it on the outside. If she hits it on the nose, she might do exactly that, drive it through the middle of them.
So the last of the Korean stones in this end from
Big shot here.
Unchong Kim. Quite big weight. Onto it quickly for the sweeping. She got the angle right.
Yes, she does.
Oh, perfectly. Oh, what a shot.
Very nice.
Oh, seen 1 or 2 cracking shots in this end anyway. That was the best yet.
Just off the outside on that rock. Yeah.
Just absolutely plumb in the middle as required. And of course it's now guarded beautifully from a Korean perspective. With that nice big pile of guards, you can't get anywhere near that yellow stone.
And there's no Swedish guards out there to drive up either. There's a long
Gör det.
long hit and roll in.
Vilken fart? Är det clearing eller?
Angle off the blue one.
Lite mindre tänker jag. 80.
80. Ja.
I think that's what she's
80.
going to do. She's going to, just as indicated there, drive off that yellow one that's
80. Ja.
on the outside, hit and roll in, and
Inte flytta den så mycket om vi får träff.
Nej.
she will try and just move that one out of the forefoot.
So last stone of the end being delivered by Sissy Ostlund. In turn, hit and roll in. Sweeping madly because it's drawing so much. Is she going to hit too much of it? I think she might be. Well, no, she's just got the wrong angle.
Agnello?
Hit too much of it.
Yeah, not a bad try, but as it is, Korea in the personage of Unchong Kim will pick up a single point, a steal of a point,
Ja, då går vi.
to lead this game 1-0 after 2 ends.
Det är bra omgång.
Kanske lite stökigt.
Ja, när de låste upp sina där.
Ja.
첫 번째 거는 리즈 좀 약한 두 번째 거는 리즈가 좀 셌어.
둘 다 근데 보기엔 앞에서 보기엔 둘 다 좀 주긴 줬는데.
Men vi kan ju välja att slå någon om vi hamnar i ett liknande läge.
Ja.
Lite tidigare.
Bra fart.
Bra. Ja, vad har vi på?
Vi har haft 0 på din som gick på 80.
Malmö är ganska mycket så upp som den som träffar.
Ja. Och din
80,
dragning.
85 på dragningen.
Ja.
Inte så långt.
Så bara komma ihåg det.
Ja,
att
precis.
det nog skiljer
80.
mycket på oss.
Ja.
Ja. 85 på Maria då och 95.
Jag ska säga 0.
Gjorde 0 uppåt här sist. Två innan så är den enda jag har. Bra. Då är det.
Ja, du tar tjata.
Oj.
레이트만. 네. 선영이가 와줘, 선영이가.
So welcome back to end number 3 in this quarter-final
보고 와야 돼.
encounter between Korea's
아니야, 잘 나올 것 같아.
Unchong Kim and Margarita Sigfridsson and her team from Sweden, the home team, one of 2 Swedish teams in this quarter-final lineup.
Yeah, we can certainly hope that it continues this way. It's very entertaining second end, some great shot making. Certainly the last second and third last shots from both skips.
Lite tajt i linje. Hake. Bra fart. Greppa mycket nu. Nästan där. Hake. Fin linje nu. Bra.
Corner guard from the Swedes.
레이트만. 그리고 레이트 와. 위로 6.
계속 가, 계속.
많이 약해. 계속
Centre stone established by Youngmi Kim. Now trying to come round behind it with her second shot here.
여기. 아니야. 세다.
All that practice that you mentioned, Armin, worthwhile, because they just make these shots like clockwork.
Yeah, these young ladies are on the ice probably 4 or 5 hours a day training. They live right across from the curling club.
Och lite mindre.
And, that's all they do. It's curl.
And Korean women dominate golf at the highest level, and I wouldn't be surprised if in 5 years' time they dominate curling.
Well, they're certainly on their way, making inroads.
Linje.
And of course, the next Olympic Games being in Korea, there will be a lot more focus on them also. That'll help promote that game in that country even more.
They're needing more dedicated facilities in the country. But they have lots of good quality curling stones. World Curling Federation has been involved in supplying these. And the representative for Korea, for many years, every time they had a major championship, he managed to arrange an order for another set of new curling stones.
Oh, okay.
A really good move on his part, because
That's how you supply yourself with enough material, is it? Okay.
that's it.
Very good.
And so they have a lot of good stones, but not just too many dedicated places to play. But that's all going to change, I think.
These curling rocks all produced in Mauchline, Scotland, all harvested off the Ailsa Craig Island.
Well, the granite comes
Did I say that right? Mauchline?
No, not at all right.
No, thank you. Okay.
Leave that one to me.
All right. Yes, I will.
Mauchline,
Mauchline.
home of the K's Curling Stone Factory.
Donald McRae made me practice that for months.
Yeah, the stones are made from two different types of granite off the island of Ailsa Craig. The base of the stone from the blue hone granite, and the body of the stone from the common green Ailsa granite.
And the blue hone is a disc that gets inserted into the rock.
Yeah, we might see one when they turn it over to clean it at the bottom of the stone.
So there's a very narrow running band on the rock, so there's very little contact between ice and rocks, actually. And that's why we get such fine running shots, very little friction. Well, that was a nice little rub off that blue one to get that guard perfectly set up. Been great ice conditions here all weekend too. Mike Reed from Biel, Switzerland, doing a great job. His crew.
So Maria Wennerstrom being asked to clear up this,
Oh, just
Yard.
noses it.
clear it off, but in fact, yep, hits it on nose to nose. Leaves the Korean stone still lying one in the white 8-foot circle. So Kyung A Kim, second player.
Trying a little hit and roll off the blue. It's looking pretty perfect. Nice shot.
Terrific shot. And that prevents the raise on the blue again.
It's got almost everything covered there. It's the first time I've seen those pink gloves. They're wearing those nice pink.
Ja.
Christina Bertrup at third. Just trying to clear the front stones away so that they can get at the shot rock of the Korean team.
Of course, the Koreans just continue happy with that. Put that guard up, and as long as the Swedes are chasing the guards, they're not putting rocks in the house. So very important positioning on all these guards. Cover up that rock in the house. Very nice slide there. Very good delivery. Good rotation. Very important under aggressive conditions. The rocks are fairly aggressive. Need a good rotation. And this looks like it might overcurl a bit. Certainly a little bit longer than she wanted. I think she needed a little more weight. I'm not sure if that will cover that shot rock enough.
Jag skulle kunna tänka mig 4 eller 5.
4.
4 är bra. Eller ja, har du en fråga? Skulle kunna tänka mig. Ja, nästan hela. Ja.
Pretty tight games going on everywhere else. Hasselborg Jones at 2-2. Fleming and Ogasawara. Excuse me.
Ja, vi behöver ju bara hit.
Also at 2-2. Tiransoni makes one in the first, steals one in the second to lead Sidorova 2-0 after 2 ends of play.
Ja, spela 4 då.
We're down to 4 sheets in this 8-sheet curling club. So 20 teams started. Now down to the last 8. Some good teams getting knocked out last night. 2015 world champion loses out to Jones. Oh, just got past that guard.
Nej, nej, nej.
Det är bra Nina.
Hej så.
Bra Skip. Är den där eller?
Ja.
Snubbla lite på den men jag tror inte
I had to sweep that one hard to get that one by, Richard.
Certainly did, and it's now visible on the other side just, but this stone I think requires to be played at a little bit controlled weight. That's why they've given a little bit of ice for it to curl, somewhere around 2.5, 3 feet, 2 feet maybe. She would like to keep her stone in the house, having connected with this blue SIGFRIDSSON counter. So Unchong Kim, the skip of this team, indicating that she's a little bit wide, so they don't want to sweep it, let it curl. Is it going to curl enough? It is. Nicely played.
Good weight control.
방어 좀 세긴 세다 근데.
Jag vill ha 4. Nina sa bra fart.
Den enda bra grejen som är ju tyvärr att deras smäller om det var på. Det är tyvärr inte riktigt bra.
3 stones remaining in this end.
4.
The Kim team from Usong leading 1-0. A steal of a point they made in the last end, of course.
Lite vikt. Visa halva är okej.
Det är bra.
Rent. Rent. Upp lite. Upp lite.
Här inte.
Upp.
Well, this one's a little bit on the high side, and it will roll out. That gives the Koreans the opportunity to try to
Det är bra.
come around the short stones right into the button. Just looking at the exact line of ice and which stone to come behind.
They'll have to play the in-turn on this.
So they're going to play directly to the brush of Kyung A Kim.
And looks like we're back to normal ice.
Yeah, it will curl a long way and round the yellow stone that we see just on the right-hand side of the line there, and lie, they hope, fully in the blue on the forefoot, completely hidden. And then the challenge will be for Sissy Ostlund to deal with.
The Swedes have been chasing quite a bit here, not really being able to generate any offense against this Korean team. Very solid play so far. Starting to make its move now. Look at that. Big swing at the end. Big finish. Of course, that guard is quite long. You can get behind it fairly simple. I think you can almost nose that with a hack weight.
That shot was really beautifully played because it's right behind the guard. Couldn't have made it much better.
But the guard is quite long, so just needs to pick it out and clear. Try blank the end and retain the hammer going into the next end.
So this is the last stone of the third end, going to be executed by Sissy Ostlund. And as you pointed out, Armin, the hit and run out will be what she wants. So not giving quite so much ice, has to pass the guard by not very much and catch about half the shot to remove it and take the shooter out of play as well.
It shouldn't be that difficult of a shot. Just can't get it started. Get it started, it will snap.
Stone's heading for the guard, I think.
Well, they got it past. They got to keep sweeping it to make sure it rolls out.
Well, it's not going to roll out.
Not going to roll out.
The Koreans achieved their goal to force Sweden into taking a point and tie the game at 1-1. But crucially, Korea will get the last stone advantage back going into the fourth end. After 3, 1 each.
말리는 것 같은데. 이 점 보고
1,85. Inte räckte fram.
Nej, 12.
Ja, precis.
Lägga topp 4, va?
Ja, så 90 hitåt, va? Det är jag med, tror jag.
Ja, precis.
Tror du 85?
Ja.
Yes.
Bra.
Ja, in då. Åt.
Bra linje! Och vänster rakt den! Vänster rakt den!
Bra ut, va? Tycker jag också är bra.
Greppa ringheten! Gärna!
8-4.
So in number 4, the last end before the halfway break. So quite an important end in an 8-end game, Armin. The
Yep.
fourth end, it can set the pattern of how things are going to go.
Even ends, of course. You want to keep control of the even ends.
And it's a very different game, 8 ends over 10.
Doesn't give you a lot of room for error once you get into the fourth end.
경희가 와야 돼, 경희가.
There's always the chance of perhaps the less good team winning in 8 ends, much less chance in 10.
Well, with 10 ends, obviously you can go back and forth a little bit. You can, the momentum can change through a game. In the 8 end games, tend to get one momentum swing and then it's done mostly at this level.
Yes. So it can sometimes lead to an early big score being the end of it all after about 5 ends, because it's not really long to go before the end of it. Lasts that bit more, gives you longer to come back if you're down in a 10-end game, of course.
Of course, these teams have been. This would be their 5th game in 3 days, and possibly 2 more games to come. So, playing 10 ends would be too much in this kind of tournament. Obviously, at World Championships, where you play a maximum of 2 games a day, and you can do that a lot better. And can, you know, pace yourself and recover a little quicker than you can on a weekend where you're playing anywhere. And a lot of these tournaments, somewhere anywhere from 8 to 9 games, 10 games sometimes.
They're all mollycoddled these days. No longevity.
Yeah, of course. Played when you were playing, it was 14 ends and
No,
corn broom sweeping and
I
stuff.
might be old, but not that old.
너무 간다.
And usually in snowstorms and stuff like that.
We may be from Scotland, but we're not from the Stone Age.
It's like my dad telling stories when he used to go to school in the snow barefoot, and it was uphill both ways.
Jag tycker jag har det okej nu.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, the old guys had it tough.
Clearing va?
So we have another interesting end built up here. Maria Wennerström, again trying to clear off the front stones. I'm impressed with the placement of the stones by the Korean team. They determine exactly where they want the stone to be drawn to, and that's exactly where it is drawn to, time after time. I think you're right when you say that the practice ethic that they have is probably as strong, if not stronger, than just about any other country. Although perhaps Japan, they have the same approach to it. And in the last year or two, both Japan and Korean and Chinese, actually to a lesser extent, women's teams have really come on strongly.
Absolutely. We do have a Japanese team here also in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, Ogasawara from Sapporo.
And we don't even have the vice world champion, reigning vice world champion here. Another Japanese team.
Cici!
Yeah, the Japanese have 2 or 3 teams right at the top level in the women's game. And their men's team has started to perform well too at World Championships the last
In
2
all
or
the
3 years.
countries. The Chinese have come back with Ri Lu. And he's performing very well.
Last season, the Chinese failed for the first time in years to get to either the men's or women's World Championships. I think that got them thinking.
Yeah, Betty's come back though. Betty's playing again.
Back in Beijing.
Former world champion from China.
92. 92, 97.
Ding Yu Wang. She will be taking another run at it to qualify for the Olympics for China.
And she won the first World Championship for an Asian team back in 2009 when it was played in Gangneung in Korea, which is exactly the site for the Winter Olympic Games in 2018. Same building, currently being renovated, upgraded for the Olympic Games showpiece.
En till. Vi har en max saker.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch,
Eller 10-15.
Sweden lie 1 in the top of the 4-foot circle. But that
I didn't know Scottish
yellow
had ranch.
stone is just in front of
15.
your counter.
You have ranches?
Mellan haken.
You're picking up colonial
Cici!
language.
Cici! Hårt! Hårt! Viktigt! Vart är vi? Hårt! Bara Cici! Kör!
Yeah, just trying to get the guard on there to protect their stone on the top of the 4-foot circle.
15.
It's the first time here that the Swedes have actually got something going. And now the Koreans are chasing a little bit.
약간 정타로 맞고 이게 이쪽으로 가고.
But one big shot can change all that.
치유는 별론가?
근데 가드 하나가 더 생기면 이걸 뺄 수 있는 상황이 너무 뒤로 밀려서 지금 이렇게 해서 날아가도 가드 하나 있어서 이따가 커버런드 해도 되지 않을까? 바깥으로 거의 정타하지 살짝 바깥. 웨이트 노멀.
She said if you drive that blue one back onto the yellow one, directly on the blue one, we'll be sitting shot behind the guard.
Thank you. That's very informative. And that's probably exactly what she'll do. She's a great shot maker.
Not sweeping it yet.
It's pretty close to the target.
Nope.
Not quite.
But it does open it up. And we know that with all this, with the big swing here, putting that guard on perfectly 3-4 times in a row is
Ta lite mindre bara.
very difficult.
Ta samma så får den gå själv. De sopar ju fast lite grann. Tycker också det. Farten var ju där liksom.
Very easy to make a mistake.
Det känns som era har ju dragit himla mycket. Ja, tycker det här är rätt. 15.
Ja.
We've seen a lot of guard attempts during the weekend fail.
Nära. Ren. Risk över curl.
They probably don't want to be too close here because it does then allow increased chance of success for the Koreans to raise the stone right onto the
This looks
the
like
one to
it's
the house. This one's
over
gonna
curling too. No?
Yeah, by a long way, I think.
Yeah. See, that's the you know, with the big curl here, that's really difficult putting guards on consistently.
Well, you have to trust that it is going to draw across the ice as much as it does. And
So
actually, that was really quite a poor shot because having got the draw the first time, it's only a repeat of the same shot, and I'm afraid that was not a very good result. So
yeah, we see here
Allows
rock over curled by a lot.
it allows Key Song A, Kim.
I think they could have held that with sweeping if they got on it early enough. If she was a little tighter, she would have been able to hold it.
The chance to just raise her own stone and lie to here. She passes the guard. She's in good shape. Oh, over curled with that one too.
But she's got 2 yellow rocks in the house now.
She has, but the chances of her being able to see that blue one after the next shot
Ja.
are going to be.
Funderar på om man kan slå på egen då för vilka
Well,
inte
Yes.
står bakom.
regardless of what the Swedes do now, she's got a couple of options to get at that shot rock with the next rock.
Som inte kan om vi... Det är om vi rullar för långt då.
Är marginalen där då?
Jag tänker nog det, va?
Ja, då kan de göra den här. Får ju dubbla i sådana fall.
Ja. Men optimalt att vicka precis framför, va?
Jag tycker det.
Ja. Klappen där. Okej.
Det finns inte så många ställen att landa på. Mitt på linan är bäst. Men chappen är helt okej. Vad vill du spela för något? En 20?
Sten bara.
20 är bra.
Ja.
Man vickar in en
As you
sten.
pointed out, 2 different options here on the raises.
Som att man skulle kunna vicka långt, eller är det för lite höjdskillnad? Men man kanske kan rulla liksom. Eller om man vickar lite längre, eller går det inte? Fastnar man då?
Nej, det går att vicka. Det är bara, vi vill inte att de ska kunna skjuta ner dubbeln och ha att vicka 2 bakom
Nej, absolut.
corner. Men det går att vicka.
So the
En
guard,
eller två liksom om vi skulle vicka.
guard shot half round the blue.
Men vi går på det.
Ja.
På linan, låter väl bra.
She would
She
like
could
to
draw another one in,
Yeah,
Armin.
Nej, 2. Förlåt.
probably good to roll in,
Ja.
hit and roll in. I think she's gonna play a hit here because she doesn't have the hammer,
No, and she's
so
wanted
she has to reduce some of the yellow in the house. So a little hit and roll would maybe kill 2 birds with 1 stone kind of thing.
Nej, Kalla! Lite.
But she definitely wants to keep her shooter in play here.
Yes, definitely. And she's not going to get a lot of roll. She needed a lot more than that. Now there may be a double attempt and sit 2 nicely spread out for the Koreans. Just off the nose on this blue rock where they got the broom next to. To the right side of the rock, roll in behind the guard on the right hand side and double out both blues. sit for two.
왠지 나는 좀
Of course, the only thing you're thinking when you sit down in the hack is
방에 조금만 바꿔. 살짝만.
line, broom, and wait, and release. You don't think about
That's 4 things.
what the shot is, yeah, but you don't think about, oh, I got to move these 2 rocks. You think, hit the broom, throw the weight.
So last stone advantage here belongs to Team Kim. Going for this take-out shot. Going for the double. Will she make it? No, only one, and leaves Sweden still lying, or Sigfridsson team still lying on the top of the button.
She must have been tight right off the start because they jumped all over it.
내가 너무 많이 가.
Jag skulle kunna tänka mig en till. Ja, men den var ju vi kan ta lite tajtare i.
Just a quick update on some of the other games. Tiransoni, Sidorova all tied up 2-2 after 3 ends. Fleming leading Ogasawara 4-2 after 3 ends. And Hasselborg Jones still at 2-2 after 3 ends of play.
Va? 10 var den. Jag frågar Cissi om du vill spela 2.
Vi hade 10.
Okej.
Ja,
Och förra
spela
var 10.
2 då. Ja, spela 2.
She'll need to get to the inside of this rock.
Då är det bra. Spela 2.
Certainly doesn't want to hit it on the outside.
So Sissy Östlund, her last stone here in the 4th end. Controlled weight here.
With our nose hit.
Well, that's a nice shot because it blocks the straight raise. Just leaves that stone on the right as a way of
Wonder how
Moon
much.
Chong Kim to
much-
get to the one on the button. Oh, she's looking at the double takeout again.
Yeah,
for
she'll
2.
have, this time she'll have to hit it on the right-hand side. She can't get to the inside of it, so that guard is a bit of a hindrance up front. Gyeongbuk, that's the name she has on the back, is the province in Korea where they play it. Gyeongbuk province.
So a big shot here in the 4th end. Will the Swedes get a steal of a point? Or will Korea take one? Or possibly 2? The last stone from Moon Chong Kim.
She might have steered this a little wide.
Yes, I think so.
Just misses it.
And it will be a steal of a point for Team Sigfridsson in the 4th end, going into the break. And the scoreline will be 2-1 in favour of the local team. Should please the support upstairs watching this game.
돌리면서 넣는
CC
거랑 약간
Östlund.
줌 밖으로 주는 거랑 아예 느낌이 달라서.
Stealing 1 point
근데
there.
이렇게 넣으면 또 너무
And
바뀌고
scoreline now.
좀 안쪽인 것 같아.
2-1 in favour of Sigfridsson.
이렇게 안 도는 건 아니긴 한데.
Yes.
좀 탈.
gå andra vägen. Var det där?
85 tror jag ändå vi kan. Ska framföra. Annars, ja, 0 tror jag då.
Håll igång. Nära hake, hake. Nära, dra den nära. Det är bra linje.
So welcome back to the Curling Champions Tour Stockholm Ladies Curling Cup 2016. We're in the Danderyd curling arena just to the north of Stockholm city, and we're bringing you coverage of this quarter-final game today between Maria Sigfridsson and the Korean team skipped by Unchong Kim from Usong in Korea. They are solid performers.
Yeah, probably only difference in that last end was 2 half shots from the Korean skip, 2 double attempts that didn't pan out, and therefore the steal of 1 for the Swedes. And that was pretty well the first time that the Swedes had the Koreans chasing them instead of the other way around. So be interesting to see how they, if they can keep up the pressure on the Swedes, or if the Swedes will start applying the pressure the other way.
And a lot of the teams playing here are on a circuit of curling events these days in Canada, some in the Far East and in Europe. Already some of these teams have been in Canada for 2 weeks with 2 bonspiels played. One in Oakville near Toronto, one in Cornwall, another one in Saskatoon. I've been talking to the teams and they've been all over the place playing, some of them.
This is the opening women's event for the Champions Tour for the season. So we've got a few more to come in Europe and elsewhere.
How many are there for the women's events this season in Europe for the Champions Curling Tour?
6.
6. And this is the first one, and the last one is in
The European Masters in St. Gallen in April.
Gallen.
Yeah, that's the men and the women will final.
And the same venue will play host to the European Curling Championships in 2017.
Exactly.
St. Gallen.
Yeah.
It's around an hour and a half to the east of Zurich, east part of Switzerland.
Yeah, pretty well the same organizing committee that organizes the Masters for the CCT. Marco Battilaner being the president. Marco wearing many hats these years. Also the junior program director for Swiss curling for the last few years. A very nice rock.
So we're right in the button area. This game being played close to the, well, right on the centre line and in the centre of the house.
The Korean rock went a little too far. It needed to be a little higher. It's not in an ideal position.
A chance now to hit. Of course, you can't play takeouts on any short stones for the first 4 stones of the end. But now you can. And a clearance is made by Son Young Kim.
She would have liked to pick up that other blue one too, but just missed it. Now we see guards will be replaced. And like I said, last end, putting these guards on perfect with that much swing is not that easy. You really need to make sure you throw consistently. A little turn, a little less rotation, and the rock will do something completely different. And we see that one just over curled a bit. Really difficult to line them up perfectly.
컨트롤로 치고 가고 그냥 이렇게 부딪혀서 하나만 나가는 거. 반 정도 맞아야 돼.
네.
컨트롤. 기도하려. 기다려야 돼. 여기 기다려.
And she gets both blue ones. Look at that. And hangs around. What a shot. You pleased with that? Just gets past her own yellow. Takes out the back blue. And manages to keep the shooter on the right-hand side of the house.
Den är hård. 2. Redo. 2. Hård. Kör Cissi, kör.
Sorry.
Det är bra. Gör så.
Bra. 15.
Ja.
치고 아니면 아예 이쪽으로. 아?
그쪽으로.
이쪽으로. 웨이트 범퍼.
네.
컨트롤.
So good opportunity here for the Koreans to get, by removing this blue one, maybe rolling a little behind the yellow one, having two rocks very separated in the house. Good chance scoring 2.
스티브. 계속 와야 돼. 끝까지 와야 돼. 스티브. 끝까지 와.
Well, this is over curling.
웨이트 많이 약해?
Big miss.
Kan tänka mig att slå, men... Jag gillar båda. Sätter vi den här är det bra, tycker jag.
Ja, tänkte det.
Ja.
Kanske 95.
Yes. Ja.
En bra på.
Ja.
Christina Bertrup playing third rocks. Winning this event in 2013. Silver medalist from the Olympics.
15.
2014 winner, sorry.
Ja.
컨트롤은 이쪽은 이미 좀 어려울 것 같아.
So a missed draw by the Swedes allowed the Koreans to have another run at that rock, but hitting and rolling out.
Ska vi dra den här? Ja. Runda ju ingen risk att släppa till det, va? Släppa två kan vi leva med.
Will allow the Swedes here to
Den och låta dem nolla.
apply an aggressive move.
Jag kan tänka mig lite
Try and
till.
draw behind this guard again.
Gör ju ingenting. Alltså, kommer vi hit bak är det också
Ja.
okej.
Jag tror att 0 är där
Ja.
precis. Men att det är 95 som
Koreans do have last rock advantage,
möjligtvis.
and there is a Korean counter in the house, so this rock, very important that it's shot and covered.
Lite längre ut. Okej. Ja, tror du det påverkar?
Well, the two guards in front certainly provide A good opportunity for the Sigfridsson team here to get round behind.
Precis, och den är helt okej att vara lite bakom 10 också om vi har linjen. Så.
Close to the button.
Den hämtar curl så att vi får fortfarande...
Ja.
Another chance maybe to steal a further point.
Which would be pretty big in a very tightly fought game. 2-point lead. And that's what Sigfridsson has in mind with this call.
So Sissy Östlund then, the in-turn draw around these guards.
But this, again, another missed draw opportunity by the Swedes. Way short. That's the second rock. Same weight as the last one.
That's really quite a poor shot at this stage of the proceeding.
Well, especially you do it 2 times in a row. It's 2 different players, but the results are the same for the team.
It's not just a little bit short, it's
No, that's fair
12
enough.
feet short.
Fair
They
enough.
really wanted to be fully into the blue 4-foot area there, Armin.
Yeah, it needed to be in the house. It needed to be better than that yellow one. That was
Yeah.
there for sure.
And quite far in, because there's the opportunity to come round the other way if you're the Koreans and just out-count it if they're not far enough into the button area.
So the advantage goes back to the Koreans, and they still have a very good opportunity here to score 2 or more even.
So let's see if Un Chong Kim is better at making this draw shot than Sissy has been.
One thing you need to consider here, if she really gets this buried, the Swedes will be forced to do a run back.
And needing to,
It's a little warm though.
yeah, it is
Needs
a
to
little
come
bit
to a
firm.
stop. Needs to stop. So, decision time for the Swedes.
It's certainly fully protected, but it's also just crept on beyond the tee line, which means that Östlund can come and sit right on top of that and lie first shot, assuming she can make a draw.
Follow that down now. Well, she'll need to be in the house now.
Jag tycker det är värt liksom. Ja, jag tycker det ser bra ut. Ser lite strävare ut.
So she went to school on that Korean rock.
Fin finish. Och det går
And now all she has to do is get the weight right.
Tror de lite mer?
Ja, och även om vi rundar deras så länge vi kan ha bättre än de där. Alltså om vi tappar dem. Det går inte att dra fram dem. Så här behöver man vänta på curlen lite också. Deras var 80,
Ja,
typ själv.
jag tror 85-90.
Ja, precis så. 10-15 på förra.
Ja.
Som vanligt. 90. Det är bra.
Yes.
So 2 stones remain in this end of play, 5th end. This one from Sissy Östlund and the last stone from Kim.
Gärna! Baksida! Inga tårar! Inga tårar! Ett till! Bara kvar! Bara kvar! Bara kvar! Nina! Okej, linjen nu!
Quite a wide line. It's coming in, slowing down.
Farten är bra. Nina! Bara Nina! Nina, ni måste dra!
And it is shot. Yes, it is.
Bra.
Bra så. Bra Cissi.
Det är bra.
Yeah.
Den där är bättre att lämna här.
So Sissy Östlund's draw shot
Någon annan som ska
lies the first counting stone here in the 5th end. They already lead 2-1. And a chance for them to steal here unless Un Chong Kim can make a pretty good shot. Do you think there's a chance,
Oh, yeah.
Armin, to come round, tap the blue out and lie 2?
Well, 2 for sure. And if she can hit it hard enough, maybe in 3.
You reckon?
Because, well, you can see a third of it. And we do know that. See the big swing. With the ice she's taking here, she's not going to throw it that hard. So that'll probably only mean 2. She'll need to tighten up the ice and throw a little bit harder to have a chance at 3. So I think she's only going for the 2.
And she needs to pass the guard by not very much. Both these stones that landed where they did, the last 2 passed the front guard by a fair distance.
Yeah, there's lots of room to
She's already indicating that she's played a bit wide here, so she needs to curl. Otherwise, she's going to give up another point, and it's heavy, heavy and wide.
It's the same.
This is not good. I don't think. No, not good.
Same error as in the last end, heavy and wide.
So it will be a steal of another point for Team Sigfridsson. In the fifth end, both sides of the break time, they have scored steal points, and they will now lead 3-1 after 5 ends of play in this quarter-final.
첫 번째 거는 많이 돌고 그러면 두 번째 거는 너무.
Vad var det, sa du?
85.
10 är ju
Vad spelade jag
chanslösa.
för stenar igår? Här.
7-2.
Ja, hon spelade 7an
Nej,
första.
det var den banan.
Ja, jag tänkte att det var det, men så tänkte jag också att det var den banan.
Bra, hörni.
Ja, topp 4 då.
Men
Var med på att det kan sega lite.
ja, din är ju 80 gard, va?
Ja, det är den.
Men hon har väldigt hårda tider. Det har vi ju koll på. Ja, men
Det har ni koll på?
Ja, det känns som vi har koll på det.
Ja, det känns bara som att det inte är
Nej, jag tror
superlätt.
90 på 10 på oss.
Ja,
80 på er.
precis.
Ja. Jag kan tänka mig på 75.
Ja. Vänta, den där har jag gett.
So in number 6 then, in this quarter-final game. 3 ends remaining in the regulation play. Sweden edging ahead now, or Swedish team Sigfridsson edging ahead. 3-1 with 2 steals and then 4 and 5.
Be interesting to see how the Koreans react now. 2 times now they've had an opportunity with the last rock to make multiple points. Twice they've thrown it, Skip's thrown it a little heavy and a little wide. So be interesting to see how they bear down and fight back, or if how they react to it.
Well, that last stone was an important one because potentially Korea could pick up 2, but instead they gave up 1, so it was a 3-point swing.
Yes, so you got to make at least 1 out of that end. Yeah, then it would have been 2-2 instead of 3-1.
Or even 3-2. In their favour.
Yeah. That would have been a 4-point swing. The
ice is nice though, it's just perfect for you to be able to make some really good shots on it.
For an aggressive game, absolutely. So Koreans do have a Swedish rock that's now behind the tee line.
Sweden are happy just to play the game in the house. They can control things a little bit better in there with a 2-point lead. Koreans have to make something of it with some short stones and try to get round behind and generally make it tough for Sissi Östlund. Sigfridsson.
Hit this, they should let it over curl. Hit and roll behind their own guard. They might have the double too if they'd let it over curl. But I think hitting and rolling behind the guard would have been a better option.
Ja, den är bot.
Så chappen där är ju bra också.
Spela chappen på den då.
Hon har ju liksom en frys bakom där, men... Det är bra. Ja.
Tiransoni took 2 in the 4th end to take a 4-2 lead over Sidorova after 4. A big 3 for Ogasawara in the 5th. I'm trying to speak here.
Det är bra.
Big 3 in the 5th for the Japanese over Fleming with a 5-4 lead now after 4 ends of play.
Bra så. Okej så.
After 5 ends of play, excuse me. Jones Hasselberg. Jones leads 3-2 after 5 ends of play.
So back to our game. There's one short stone belonging to Kim and one Sigfridsson counter in the back of the 4-foot circle, which the Kim team are trying to draw to.
It overcurled.
Now they attempt just to sit on the corner of that blue stone,
Så det
just
som blir så många bakom 10.
curling too far, not too challenging for
Ja, jag tänker också att
Den är inte helt gratis för dem att slå och ligga 2.
Sigfridsson to remove that one.
Sticka av eller att vi slår dubbel.
det är så tidigt så att det känns som att vi
Egentligen kan jag tänka mig att sprätta cornern.
Ja, jag gillar cornern.
Så är det. Det är lite klurigt för dem ändå att göra det riktigt bra utan att lämna en rimlig dubbel.
Precis.
Ja,
Det lär ju komma en till corner då.
ja.
Rakt fram för då kan man ju välja vid ett senare tillfälle att gå in och
Då
Det
kan
känns
vi
som
ta
vi
en time då i
hamnar
sådana
så
fall.
mycket bakom 10 om vi tar den.
Jag tyckte din skar till förra clearingen
Ja,
där.
men jag sa att den låg ju bra fast jag hade kunnat tänka
Ganska
mig att hålla igång den.
ja, fast ganska tunn.
So the discussion there was centering around whether to remove that corner guard or not. And the decision was to remove it. I think a correct decision
Yeah.
with a 3-1 lead.
There's no reason
need-
to risk something.
No reason whatsoever. And the peeled shot running across, the right shot to play at that stage.
And the way those 2 rocks are sitting, that blue one isn't removed that easily without losing that yellow shooter too. So
Yeah, they're sitting quite advantageously for the Sigfridsson
yeah,
squad.
and it's counting too.
좀 약해.
So Son Young Kim then being asked to replace the guard.
웨이트 어디? 기다려. 아니, 닦지 마. 그냥 또. 아씨. 들어갈까? 들어와.
Overcurled, I think. Yes, it did. So the Koreans are starting to slip a little bit. The rock's not quite as precise as they were at the beginning of the game.
Bra Nina.
Ska vi ta time på nästa om de gör samma?
Sigfridsson team's always been a great hitting team.
Det är bra. Nej, de spelar Guardian va? Eller?
De spelar Guardian.
Ja.
So another go at putting on a short stone here, hoping for the opportunity to draw around it, make it count. The Kim team, though, they do have last stone advantage, hoping to pick up 2.
영미. 피네.
Need a better line on this guard than the last one.
피.
Needs to stop now, or is it doesn't overcurl. That may be a little bit better coverage.
har 3 stenar kvar.
And
3. Ja.
that'll take
We
another
don't time.
discussion, another team meeting.
Vad känner vi spontant?
Jag kan tycka ner i bord nu är okej.
Ja.
Då är det-
Alltså, jag tycker också
Hade
det.
man kunnat slaga den där så det kan man ju.
Precis. Och därför så borde vi ta en timeout för att diskutera det lite.
Gör det.
Ja.
It'll even take a timeout to get the coach down here.
Vi bort den där nu tycker jag det är skillnad.
Ja. Vad heter han? Jan eller?
Lägga en bättre
So what's the
Ja, precis. Ja.
choice selection here, Armin?
Jag tycker dra.
Well, you're going to run the guard
Eller så ska vi
again
plocka samma igen för att få ett
and
okomplicerat
force
blå.
the
Jag ska
Koreans
bara
to make
släppa
a play
två.
on that blue one. But I think that blue one's a pretty tough shot. Either they could end up splitting their own rock off if they make an error on that, or hit the blue one and roll shooter out, which will give the Swedes an opportunity to blank.
Så jag gillar att ta garden
But,
också.
if
Det
they
är
leave
de
the
som
guard
behöver
there,
jobba,
they could
men
get into
samtidigt
trouble.
nailar vi frysningen så. Ja, Maria är det.
I think probably what the Swedes are thinking, we could maybe draw another one in there and start forcing them a little bit.
Force.
See what the coach has to say.
Nolla är ju inte fel heller egentligen.
Kommer jag aldrig gå för det.
Nej.
Vad tycker du vi ska göra?
Ja, det är ett bra läge att gå ner och bara frysa gul naturligtvis.
So Fredrik Hallström to the rescue.
Nej.
Kommer de hitta på något på nästa sten, det kommer de göra. Ni
Ja.
blir tvungna att göra en dubbel om ni räknar med. I så fall ska man ju slå på den, för då vet man att det max kan bli 2 varje fall. Man har ganska stor chans att det blir 0 eller false. Om du slår på den, för du kommer få en realistisk slag i alla fall göra en dubbel.
Ja.
Tycker jag.
Är den här risken precis med fler, det är ju frysen.
Ja.
För annars är det ju den eller försöka slå den. Alltså,
Du tycker slå kvar den?
Ja.
ja, jag gillar den mer och mer.
So I think he told them to remove the guard. And I think this is the right call.
So it looked like Hallström favoured the removal of the guard. I think he was making the point that at 2 up, he doesn't really need to do anything other than that. Koreans have to try and make something happen in this end.
That's right. You don't want to leave the guard up there.
No, that's really not what the doctor called for.
And she didn't miss running that yellow one back onto the other two in the house either. So pretty bad miss.
So a chance now for Chong Kim to draw right round behind here. And if she draws round on the out turn, she can line it up in such a way that it might run the stones into those two in the back 8-foot circle.
All that tactical discussion, and the result was this.
So a big mistake. Just goes to show you take forever to make up your mind about the shot and then don't play the shot.
That's the worst kind of result there.
웨이트 보고 라인 좋아. 웨이트 보고 영민. 영민이도 와. 여섯 와야 돼. 이겨야 된다. 와야 돼.
Have Team Kim got a nice draw shot here? I think they have.
Yes, they do. Don't want to overcurl it. It's almost whipped it too far.
Well, it's okay, but it doesn't lie the first shot. That still remains the stone belonging to Sigfridsson in the back 4-foot,
Så köp som möjligt.
biting the 4-foot circle in the back of the house.
Det är bra.
Vilken fart vill vi spela? Är det en 4 eller?
Ja, 4 är bra.
4?
Jag kan tänka mig 3 också, men 4 är bra.
4, jag gillar 4. Bra.
Stanna är väl helt okej. Ja. Här, kant till kant.
So, first of the skip stones here, and then number 6 will go to Sissy Osland. She's
Yeah.
going to try and take the... I think she's going to try and take this Korean stone out, is she?
Yeah, I think she's trying to hit this.
Not clearing the guard off, interestingly.
No. I think she'll want to maybe hit and stay on the nose. Keep her shooter in play.
Not too much weight.
The line's looking all right. Looking like a very useful shot.
So a good hit and roll in front of the two stones there from Ostland.
해서 맞으면 맞고
I would leave that to your last round.
아니면
Maybe.
내가 이렇게 해서 프리즈 해도
Try and get another
얘들이
shot.
프리즈
Try and get a
들어오면
shot
이거를
rock in there.
처리하는데 마지막 샷에도 처리해야 돼서 좀. 일단 롤 보고
줄 너무 세지 않나?
She's going to take a run at this. She hits it right. She
롤
can
보고 하면 될 것 같다.
roll her shooter in behind the guard, drive that blue one back onto the yellow. She'll have to hit the yellow on the right-hand side to drive it back onto the blue. And maybe she can spill both blue ones and
Lie two yellows.
lie two yellows.
Looking forward to that shot.
Yeah,
일단 롤 보고 간지 봐.
It's on, certainly.
it's certainly on. She'll need to get about a quarter of that blue on the inside.
So she
Not-
can't really shoot it at very big weight or her
Not without
stone
ice.
will run out
Yep.
with the amount of the blue shot that she needs to catch. If that's what she's going to play, she may just be satisfied to play the hit and roll in behind on the front blue. Trouble then is she probably spills her own yellow one behind, leaving the two Swedish stones counting second and third shot.
That's the worst case for her. Yeah. Well, we're sweeping and her
Serious
for line.
sweeping. Has she got the right line for this? The hit and stick.
No, she hits it too thin.
Well, her stone will stay in the house, but
알면 돼?
it's not quite so useful away over there. Just gone off the boil a little bit.
Det är inte bra att
Chong
vara
Kim,
den där ifall hon
not quite
försöker
making the
tänka
shots. She's getting half results now.
Då tycker jag nästan
For the last 3 ends, only half results.
en gång till.
Ja,
Vi vill ju inte lämna något stöd.
nej.
Får jag göra den direkt på?
Chappen lär hon inte ha det på, va?
gul menar jag. På
Det är bra.
chapp, med någon fart.
Här spelade vi ju förut.
Jag spelade 10-20 här.
Ja.
Första var 10, andra var 20.
Ska vi spela 10 eller 0 skulle jag vilja ha.
10.
Den finns ju någon slags mjukisida. Ja, just det. Då är det direkt på.
So this is the last stone at
Klicka in den sen.
this end for Ostland. One more remaining for Chong Kim.
På chapp så blir det ganska flack dubbel för henne.
I'm going for the
Gick in så blir
hit.
dubbeln enklare. Så gärna bara chapp.
Hit and roll.
Well, hit on the nose will be fine.
10.
She needs to keep her shooter in play, though.
Men
Because
dubbel.
if she doesn't, there's still an opportunity for the Koreans to make 2.
Even if she hits this on the nose, it's an opportunity for 2, surely.
Might be a little difficult.
Ja, precis.
Ligga där.
Ja.
Because she has to hit that yellow one on the outside, and she may roll away.
Well, last stone for the SIGFRIDSSON team here in the 6th end. They lead 3-1.
Sweeping it right out of her hand.
Really important to hold the shooter.
And they're not going to manage to do
No,
that.
hits and runs.
Det är bra så.
That gives that raise takeout attempt a little more room for error.
Definite chance for 2 now for
Ja.
She needs to hit it
Chong Kim and her team.
just off the center,
방금 라인은
to the left of
괜찮아.
the center. Drive that yellow
나 나오는
back
거야,
onto the
이거야.
blue
웨이트 약해서. 아 너무 많이 잡았네 이건 또.
without losing your shooter.
방금 웨이트야?
Try and drive that blue one out of the back of the house, or at least far enough that her 2 are counting.
Last stone of the 6th end.
She's thrown 2 out turns with her last 2 rocks in the last ends. And this is an in turn. I wonder if she's
This one looks a bit high.
looks a little bit wide. Yes. Missed it altogether. Just enough to get one.
Little fortunate.
Yeah.
웨이트
It
얼만데?
will be 1 point for Korea, though.
아니야 약해?
Definitely.
There's the
Yep.
indication.
롤이 저렇게 됐는데.
So a chance for 2 there, but not really all that close to getting the 2. And with that point
아까는 근데
scored,
근데 약하게 차고 그거가 있네요.
scoreline is narrowed to 3-2 in the 6th end.
그러니까 이게 웨이트랑
Sigfridsson
내가
ahead,
생각하는
3 shots to 2,
범퍼 아이스랑
with 2 ends remaining.
웨이트랑 이게 안 맞는데.
근데 이것도 범퍼가 되긴 되는데 지금 더 센 게 아까보다 더 살려서 아예 더 많이 온 것 같은데 이거는 아예 살려서.
원래 보통 그 뭐지 범퍼하면 이 정도 하긴 하는데.
아무튼 그러니까 첫 번째
Ska vi inte sikta på 80 och 90?
Ja, nästan. Och jag tycker marginalen är 5 hårdare. Ja, eller så framförallt på längden.
Rundar vi nu?
Pass. Ja. Noll om vi får den.
Ja.
Annars får se till att ha öppet verkligen. Så att vi
ja, ta
kan ta
poäng.
poäng så får vi kanske med oss någon extra också.
Ja. Bra.
Då kör vi. Går runt
Bra
va?
jobb.
Denisa? Ja.
Lägen ligger sådär och vi är skotte. Ja, liksom, och deras ligger i vägen. Den är bra.
De kommer ha ett svårt slag så flytta på den.
Bra tålamod den här omgången. Det blev vasst.
Synd att jag lurar alla med olika sätt.
Kan i alla fall inte gå direkt på.
Nej, precis.
와야 돼. 아 계속 와. 아니면 하나 와. 그냥 놔둬야겠다.
넘어요.
어.
Ganska försiktig.
So if you've been watching this and nipped off for a cup of tea, then welcome back to the last quarter of this game. 2 more ends remaining. Tight game, 3-2 in favour of Team Margareta Sigfridsson. And they do have the advantage of last stone here in the 7th, just leading by that single point with the missed opportunity at the last end for the Kim team from Usong
Well,
in
that's
Korea.
3 ends in a row where they've Skip has had an opportunity for multiple points and missed them a little bit. This game could look quite a bit different.
It could. Chances were there in each of these instances.
Skip just not coming up with the big one.
No. Back to Usong. Lots and lots of practice. That's what's required. No substitute for throwing stones.
Well, throwing stones in practice and game conditions are obviously 2 different things.
And saying that, these shots have just been quite loosely played, been the wrong line or the wrong weight.
Yeah, they're not far off.
That's what practice does. It makes you really, really confident in making the exact line and the precise weight.
But you use the magic word there. Confidence is one thing that can slip away very quickly after missing a shot.
You can gain a lot of confidence, though, if you make lots and lots and lots of practice shots.
Yes. And they are playing against multiple medal winners from world and Olympic championships. So there is a bit of a with some of these teams, a little bit of an awe factor, I believe.
True enough, but you're only as good as your latest results, really.
Well, a lot of teams have a lot of respect for Sigfridsson's been around a while, and you got to believe that you can beat a team at that level.
So lots of shots in play here in the 7th end. And at the moment, the blue counter of Sweden in the back of the forefoot counting the first point here. Sigfridsson has the last stone advantage, so it's in their interest to clear these guards out of play.
Ja, vi vill inte stänga.
She looks like she's in position to put the broom down for that guard.
Vi måste ha öppet för poäng.
Ja, jag tycker vi ska öppna.
But you might be tempted to play that guard, take one of the longer guards and try to run it back onto the short guards.
Yes, I think so, Armin. I would agree with that.
You would get a little more mileage out of a shot like that, I think. Just quickly, Tirinsoni 5-3 over Sidorova after 6 ends of play. Sidorova has the hammer. Fleming versus Oga Sawara.
That was the danger. The raise onto your own shot.
There you go. The Japanese are behind 6-5. Fleming leading there with 1 point. Japanese have the hammer.
Well, another look at that. The raised takeout on your own stone. Disastrous. Well, not disastrous, but
and
not
you
good.
leave the center guard. That's even
center,
worse.
yeah. It is. Clearing the short ones was probably going to not have that happening. So,
and Jones and Hasselberg tied up at 3 apiece. With
so the attempt to
Caitlin
draw
Laws.
around.
Caitlin Laws having the hammer.
Attempt to draw behind now, and Kim drawing beautifully round. Perfect weight to the top of the forefoot circle.
Ja.
Good position here.
Jag tror det är en kvast emellan eller något sånt. Ja.
This time she did select the longer guard, and she did manage to remove 2 of them. Makes that situation look a little bit better for the Swedes. Very important now for the Koreans to replace that guard in front of those 2.
So, Kyunghee Kim, third player for Unchong Kim. A chance to have a go at this guard. Need to sweep it all the way to bring it over. Cover the stone in the forefoot circle. Could have done with drawing a little bit more.
Jag tycker du ser bäst ut där uppe. Den här om vi rensar in i bot också.
Ja, det... Ja.
Hur känner du för?
Jag gillar båda verkligen. Men,
Jag med.
om vi ändå tar den i bot nu. Kommer ändå kunna göra en hyfsat skott, men då kommer vi ha... Vi kan ju få en saver också. Eller så, vi kan få en till nivå. Kanske ska göra den. Vem ska ta den i bot? Har vi ju marginalgarden då om det...
So that guard not quite covering enough of the stone in the forefoot circle belonging to Team Kim. And a chance now for Christina Bertrup to come through that gap and play a controlled weight takeout, try to hold her shooter in the house. And they're on to it quickly. Is she on the guard? She could well be. Yes, just. That's, in a way, the worst of all results. You just skiff the guard, leave it lying, still as part of the block in front of the house. She's only moved it 2 or 3 inches. So now, big opportunity for the Korean team to block the line in here. Natty pink gloves for the Koreans.
Yeah, they're pretty bright. She kind of needs to go from the in-turn side here because the long blue guard is kind of in the path from the out-turn side. So she'll have to curl across her own guard to try and cover the center line.
So this is the second attempt at a guard from Kyung A. Kim.
Without over-curling.
Yeah, it has quite a bit. Needs to stop, and then she might be able to
It's a very long guard.
cover. So we will see in a moment or two from the high shot just how much of it is covered.
Nu känns en nolla!
Yes,
Difficult hole to navigate, I think.
I think so too. You'd have to do it on the in turn anyway, that's for sure. And would it curl off and miss the stone in the forefoot? Of course, you can't play too much weight because you need it to curl a bit to get past the second guard there.
Well, you can play the out turn, but you really need to throw it pretty straight.
I think the shot's to clear that guard on the left, don't you?
Noll.
I think one of these guards may disappear either way. She's got the guard, a short one. So another opportunity to try and close that up.
Better chance in a way now. Can really lock this stone in behind the cover. Do you put a guard stone, somewhere on the right of the VW?
Yeah.
That would be about the right spot, perhaps. And the Koreans lying 2 behind here, so chance perhaps to steal 2 points if they can get this right. She probably needs to do this twice, but we'll see in a moment or two. So, first stone from Un Chong Kim here in the 7th end. She really needs to make this shot.
The line's looking all right. We'll start bending now. Right where you called it, Richard. And I would think that's a pretty good spot for it.
Yes, I think it is.
Man ska spela eller är det rätt?
Vi drar frysaren bak.
Vad säger du om att gå i gluggen? Hur känns den?
Looks like Swedes are looking at some desperate measures here.
Well, that guard is pretty perfectly placed.
Vad vill vi
Just
uppnå?
see from our overhead camera.
Kommer åt den här då.
There's the view from the other end. That's the skip's view. Not a very nice view if you're the Swedish last stone player here. Cissi Östlund. Not too many opportunities. Do you think there's a draw possibility between the centre guard of Korea and the blue one to the right?
Yeah, but you might still give up one. I don't know if you can get to the button without wrecking on the front of that.
Nej, det finns inte något riktigt bra slag.
yellow one.
Du har ju en dragning här.
Oslin's got 2 rocks to go. I'd be tempted to maybe run that long guard onto the left one.
I think that's the shot to attempt with this stone.
Yeah, and
Jag är
which
lite
one?
sugen på den. Och jag på den. Precis. Vi är på varsin sida.
Play the long guard onto the short guard,
Den har vi
yellow, and then
kvar.
hopefully remove both guards, and then you have a couple of options. Because
Gillar båda.
with the curl out here, one guard's usually not enough to cover.
Well, that is the other thing to do, of course. If you only move the long guard, you're in even more trouble.
Tycker det är bra.
Yes, but
Is då då? Så.
if you don't make this shot, this is pretty tough too.
Yeah.
Jag gillar det här slaget verkligen. Jag bara tänkte om vi...
Ja, jag har ju haft
She may be conceding the one here.
And one thing the Korean team are very good at doing is putting on the guard. They get
Snäppet mer. Va? Jag tror snäppet mer.
good control of weight and pretty good control of line.
We see some of the other games in play here, all very close. Hard-fought quarterfinal here at the Stockholm Ladies Curling Cup.
Absolut.
Lots of excellent teams participating, as usual.
So Sissy Östlund then getting ready for her first shot. She has the last stone advantage here. 3 stones to go, this one, and then 1 each. Last stone available for the Swedish team.
It's probably one of the biggest shots in this game so far for Sissy.
Måste gå. Ganska bra. Nej! 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 Lite kort. Nej! Ja! Ja! Nej! Nej! Vi kan inte! Lite kort. Vi kan inte!
Needs to just get past that blue guard.
Hårt nu så långt det går! Så långt det går!
And that was very close. And now it's over curling. Yeah, I didn't think she could get in there.
Short.
And she's not only short, yeah, she's so short that they're still sitting 2.
And she's blocked the line.
And she's blocked the line.
So not too good.
I'm sure you'll see the Koreans now.
아니면 여기를 막는 거는 별로 이렇게 이쪽으로.
저쪽으로 가는 건 너무 준.
이쪽인데 많이 돌긴 돌아서.
저쪽으로 가는 건
근데
그냥 감축이 낫지 않아? 아닌가?
그러면 여기까지는 들어올 수 있는데.
Well, that curled a long way. I guess you'll see the Koreans now. Well, they don't even need to plug that hole. Come around that blue one, set another one in the top of the 4-foot.
Well, might as well. It's fairly well covered on the other side, the 2 Korean stones. In for the kill, try and get a 3 here.
5, 6 좋은데 5 줘.
Go right for
Be
the
a steal of 3 points, of course, which would make it.
이렇게 인컬로 들어가는 게 나을 것 같다.
Go right for the juggler.
나도 있어가지고. 처음부터 하다가 알았어.
Well, still a draw shot for Östlund down the left-hand side to outcount the second of these Korean stones at the very least. She might catch a bit of the blue for outcounting the first one, right down the left as we look at it there.
Really some new ice here, so nobody's too sure what to do.
이쪽 들어갈 거면은 앞에보다는
저기서 보면 생각보다 이게 너무
She
바깥에
obviously
있어.
doesn't feel it comfortable going out that far.
Another good reason for playing this shot that she's looking at, though, is blocking the line potentially.
되면 괜히
근데 인터넷
더블 있었어.
들어가면은
위로
저 파란색 만약에 무조건
별로인 게 만약에 약간 여기 놔두면
더블 돼서.
근데 만약에
근데 여기 라인이 저기서 보면 완전 그냥
어차피 들어오를 가.
끝에 있어서 들어오기도 힘들 것 같긴 한데
이쪽으로 이쪽에.
대신 아니면은 오버클 돼서 이렇게 들어가지 말고 그냥
차라리
이렇게 위로 그냥 길만 막는 걸로.
들어오면 제일 좋고.
아니 차라리 이쪽으로 저기는 들어가기가 힘들 것 같은데 어차피 얘들이 할라 해도
Well, we're back to the first
저 앞에 나가.
option in all of this.
저기가 나은 것 같긴 한데 저기 근데 잘못 넣으면 더블 맞으면 더블 맞아도 근데 1점 스틸은 할 수 있는데
I don't think she can
Or are we?
do too much damage going out there trying this.
No, I don't think so either. I think, and if she gets it into front 8 foot,
Just
blocks the line down this side, and it also could count a third shot. So it's all gain, really. Bit of a push there. Is she wide enough to get past the guard?
The problem is you get into a real fresh pebble out here, it might just run on you. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Slow down. She doesn't want to go back behind the tee line because that'll just give the opportunity to the Swedes to follow it down.
Oh, it's a pretty good shot.
So it's Koreans line 3. Now I wonder if
För den här går det inte vattna.
SIGFRIDSSON has found a path in there.
Nej.
Jättestor trål alltså.
det går ju med en typ 20.
Gå mot den där ja. Trycka den efter den där. Så vi har ju nästan hela
You now have an in-turn hit and roll.
Det är bra.
Around that blue guard. That yellow one may have gone too far, but they didn't see that, or they're not looking at that one.
So we're on to the last stone of this end.
Lite snävt hål, annars fick vi hela där.
Ja.
Well, they're not looking at your shot, Armin.
No.
Instead, they are selecting the one I said
Jag tror den är bra, 85.
a couple of minutes ago, where you would have to draw down the left-hand side and try to catch a piece of that blue 4-foot circle to outcount the Korean stone in the front of it.
Going through that hole onto the yellow one is a similar shot that she played in the early ends.
Yes, indeed. And she made it then.
And she made it, yeah.
So the weight important here for Cissi Osland. Obviously the direction, but the weight too. Even if she doesn't make the first shot here, she has to outcount some of the Korean stones. This one looks a little bit hot.
Yeah, that's the pebble outside is standing up a little bit better, and rocks tend to skate a little bit.
Or is she going to give up 3? She
Big
does
3.
give up 3. So a steal of 3 points for the team skipped by Unchong Kim. And that will give the Korean visitors here a 5-3 advantage going into the last end over Team Sigfridsson.
근데 첫 번째 샷보다 두 번째 샷이 좀 뻗는 것 같지 않나, 내 거? 계속 조금씩 계속 좀 가긴 하는데. 처음 거보다는. 근데 두 번째 거는 계속 끝까지 안 가. 그 끝에 조금 원래 컬이 끝에 대해서는 좀 가는 게 있어야 되는데 웨이트하고도 좀 애매하긴 한데 좀. 그래서 5점, 2점 차이. 1점 주는 걸로. 둘 다 넣어야 돼. 2점 차이면은 2점 주면 2점까지 주는 걸로 괜찮긴 한데 버리기엔 또 너무.
포인트 가드로 넣을까요?
아니요, 그냥 아예 들어와도 괜찮아. 4-5까지. 3 yellows. 웨이트 봐봐. 라인 주업. 된 거 같아.
살아가요.
기다려.
멋있어요.
아니면 나가는 거는?
뒤로 해볼까요?
얼마야, 너? 93?
So the 8th end arrives, and with it the first stone in the house from Young-mi Kim, lead player for the Kim team from Korea. All 4 players, the alternate and the coach, have the name Kim.
But I don't think they're related in any way, as far as I know.
No, Kim is a very common name in Korea.
It certainly is. Just a quick update from the Swiss Cup in Basel, the men's event. A couple of surprises, maybe. Edin defeats Gushu Nichols 4-3. Moving on to the Edin moving on to the semi-final, and here's maybe a little surprise. Kyle Smith in the extra end wins 8-7 over Olsrud, and therefore moves on to the semi-final also. The Cruz over Waldstadt in an extra end, 5-4, and Murdoch 5-3 over Mout. So Murdoch, De Cruz, Smith, and Edin in the semis at Basel. That young Scottish team will be happy with that win over Olsrud, I would think. And here on the other sheets, Tiransoni 5-4 lead over Sidorova with the hammer. Leading by 1 with the hammer in the last end. Japanese and the Scots, Fleming, Ogasawara, 6 apiece. And Fleming has the hammer in that last end. Jones 4-3 over Hasselberg after 6 ends of play. Hasselberg has the hammer in the 7th. So coming down the crunch here too at the Stockholm Ladies Curling Cup. Quarterfinal action.
So in this final end, the Koreans trying to keep everything clear, have the game played in the house. And meanwhile, Team Sigfridsson trying to establish corner guards. The hopeful opportunity to score 2 points here, send the game into extra time. That's what their focus is. So Wennerstrom just putting up the stones, trying to draw behind her own guard on the left-hand side as we look at it.
One get in the back of the 8-foot. The Koreans draw there. Opportune rock.
Well, she got the curl right round behind the guard, but the guard will be removed.
Now we get to see how precise
Son Yoon Kim at second for Korea.
Let's see how precise the Koreans are with their takeouts now and their peelings. Ooh, almost.
Very precise.
I'm sure they didn't expect to be in this position in the 6th end.
Det känns som att vi
Jag är inte helt vill åka upp och prata till sig.
kan lägga upp någon dubbel. Vad för det? 75. 90 då? Ja. Samma. Känns lite långt. Nästan emot.
Så Maria Wennerstrom.
Bara stanna. Nej, 12.
Just trying to replace that guard. It's a little bit too far up, maybe. And it's not covering the line very well. So a chance now for Kim to remove that stone.
I think she's going to take a direct run at the one in the 8-foot.
Yes, exactly. And controlled weight takeout from Kyung A Kim.
Sweeping it hard.
Could be on the guard here. Oh. Nice shot. So now the Kim team lie 3 stones in the house. And this guard on the right-hand side is not all that useful at the moment. Might be later, but right now it's not.
Ja, det är bara 4.
The Swedes are preoccupied with trying to get a little less yellow granite in the house. Or yellow-handled granite. So putting up another guard here.
Hasselberg takes 1 in the 7th to tie it up 4-4 against Jones. Jones, Canadians having the hammer in the 8th. That comes up short again. Lots of rocks in play. And here we get a timeout from the Koreans.
아, 이거를 정타 때려서 그냥 없애는 게 나을 것 같긴 한데 근데 문제는 우리게 어차피 또 맹 서서 좀 그렇긴. 근데 이렇게 꼬여 있는 거보다는 하나 쓸 수 있게 놔두는 게 나쁘진 않긴 한데. 근데 어차피 이걸 하면 얘들은 컴라운드를 들어오니까
Lots of jam possibilities.
완전 얇게. 근데 완전 얇게 하면 근데
좀 가까워서 그래도 쓸것
들어와서
같은데.
너무 가깝다.
그래도 여기 맞고 왠지 여기 그냥 이렇게
근데 이게
서고
더블이 안 되면 차라리 이것도 나쁘진 않은 것 같은데.
더블이 안 되면.
Let me see.
Pure weight.
MJ Kim and Peter Gallant.
Or stay.
Peter Gallant's been working with the team since January
Hitting that corner guard.
last year.
Roll. Because they're going to hit and roll off this one. Their next shot. Their next shot's hit and roll maybe off this.
왜냐면 걔들이 노란색 안에 있는 지금 그 블루 사이드 쪽에 있는 저거를 다음 샷 저거를
So if we hit and roll just a little bit towards center, and he does make the roll, we've got something to run back. Correct? And if she plays it, the in-turn draw, we can play the rate.
Here.
경아 센터까지 들어가는 건 별로일 것 같아.
좀만 가는 우리 거 가릴 정도만 안쪽으로 가는 것 같은데.
진짜 살짝만 가도 괜찮을 것
바깥쪽으로
같은데.
갈게.
And we may not.
노멀?
Anyway, doesn't matter. One way or another.
노멀만.
So, after all that discussion, what's the shot, Armin?
We're going to move this blue guard on the right-hand side. There's too much danger of jamming the other one. There's dangers of jamming this one too, but a little more room to work with. Maybe get on the inside of it and roll into the middle. Cover that 4 foot up a little more.
Oh, nicely played.
That's well done.
약하다고?
And a nice shot.
약해?
아니야 너무.
And that hit and roll that Peter Gallant was pointing out is not there because that yellow one rolled right in front of that
Well,
rock that's in the left-hand side of
Vi
the
måste
8
ju få
foot here.
plats med fler stenar. Annars vi går ända ner. Vad tittade du på?
So
Knacka våran snett då.
Ja.
you need to.
Jag gillar ni det här.
We're gonna try and draw around that.
Jag tror hon tittar på
Yellow
om det gick att slå på
12
blå och liksom
shot.
fastna med 2 in på
so
något
there are
sätt. Men jag tror inte att
3
det gör
blue
det.
stones remaining here, Armin, and 2 of them need to count to tie the game.
And right now there's
Jag tror vi måste göra den
3 or 4 Korean counters,
Ja, det tycker jag också.
but lots to work with still. There's lots that can go wrong with that many rocks in play.
Känns ju
And
som
that
att jag kan tänka mig att
yellow one
Yeah.
in the back of the 8 foot is the problem rock for the Koreans.
85-90 tror jag är bra.
So Christina Bertrup at third will play this in-turn draw. And this really is a must-make shot.
Sidorova steals one in the 8th to tie that game up.
Needs to curl here and stop. Well, she's almost onto the back one, yes. So that's a nice shot from Christina Bertrup. A little bit far, but does now mean that the Sigfridsson team count first shot in this end.
근데 그거보단 근데 여기까지 들어오긴 들어가야겠다. 이따가
돈은
들어가야겠다.
약할까요?
I'll just draw another one in there now, I guess.
또 아까 몇 나왔지?
Not much else you can do.
첫 번째 부산이었고 그다음
All the other 3 games are tied up. 4-4, 6-6, and 5-5.
되게 잘 났어요. 그래서 좀
Tiransoni, Sidorova, and then extra end. Tiransoni has a hammer.
여섯이 제일 좋고 아니면 그냥 위로 좀 있는 게 나아.
저기 어디 하나씩 물렸어요 저거.
저 파란색 물렸어.
So what's the call, Armand, you reckon here?
Just draw into the top of the forefoot.
되는 건 별로고.
Out count the blue one and
Count the blue one and
just fill the spot half behind that yellow guard, or 2/3 behind the yellow guard maybe.
Exactly.
And just inside the 4-foot circle beyond the blue stone belonging to Sweden at the back.
Lots of curl here. So she should
this-
get buried up behind it pretty good.
This is the first of the skip stones here in the 8th end.
She wide and heavy again. And this is not looking very good. Now it's starting to make its move. Is it too late?
The weight's not too bad.
It's really
How about
come
the
down
line?
now. That's really moved at the end. Turned out to be not so bad.
Pretty good shot.
Could angle them out. Lots of room by that guard.
So 3 stones to go. 2 of them belong to Sigfridsson. The
Eller den här.
blue stones of Team Sweden here, Team Sigfridsson. That was a good shot from Kim because it blocks the line.
Skulle nästan...
Fleming's about to play her last rock, has to double out 2 Japanese rocks and stick to count to win the game.
Bara trycka ner den och vicka dit.
Så det känns med trycken så hamnar vi framför den här va?
Sigfridsson's already used the timeout, so they have no opportunity to get
Den är
their
ganska rak för att den
coach
är
down.
riktigt bra. Om man inte vill spela lite hårdare och då liksom är nästan en sarg för att avvika och för att ha stöd. Vi måste ju räcka på något som vi kan träffa och få bort den där på liksom.
And Fleming makes her shot, so she's on to the semifinals, eliminating the Japanese team.
Precis, en tillställning.
Vad gör de om vi gör den här?
Kommer vi ligga kvar så här då?
Ja.
Gå ner och peta framsidan.
Ja, då är ju det öppet här. Då kan de ju bara skjuta ner va?
Eller dra runt blå.
Ja. Det kanske är den där vi ska göra.
En hård. Eller en...
Nej, jag tänker kanske 40.
Det är också
Jag
på något
skulle
sånt.
vilja flytta på den där helst, men det är ju svårt. Ja.
Vad händer om vi gör den?
Jag tycker inte att den hjälper så mycket.
Nej, tyvärr inte det heller.
Jag tycker då kan de bara köpa där liksom. Jag tycker att den här ligger ändå bra
Sure
för
how
oss just
she's
nu
gonna
för
end
att
up
få kvar den där.
shot out of this.
Efter hennes.
Vad tänkte du för fart?
40.
Ja. Försöka landa bättre än den framförallt.
Ja,
Den gula.
precis.
Ja. Halv.
Ja.
Här spelade vi ju 40.
Ja. Det är bra.
So somehow try and raise,
After all the discussion, what's the shot,
try and
Armand?
raise this angle, raise this blue one onto that yellow one on the right-hand side of the white, the 8-foot.
Right.
Maybe roll in and try open up the middle a bit so that she has something with her last. At least I think that's what the attempt is.
So 3 stones to go here. 2 of them belong to the Sigfridsson team. And they will be played by CCT Stockholm, of course.
Things are looking not too bad for the Koreans at the moment.
Kalla! Rätt fart! Amela! Måste kalla! Rätt fart! Bra fart! Måste kalla!
Have to get the angle just perfectly here. There's plenty of weight.
The sweepers are nowhere near it, and she's just made it worse.
That was not a very good shot.
I wonder if you can get at the blue one now. Directly take out. I think there's a port there with an out turn. Might be able to come right through the middle and squirt that blue one right out. Out turn right down onto the.
안 보여?
안 보여.
가드? 아니면 때려?
She takes that blue one out of the back. That's game.
못 때리면 근데 2점 주잖아.
I don't know if. Let's see if there's if there's a guard up front. I don't
Even if she-
believe there is a guard up front.
Yeah, if she raises the... No, there's no guard there.
No.
If she raises the yellow straight onto the blue, spills anything she likes out, but make sure the blue's out.
하긴 한데 못
gotta-
때리면
Or straight through the gap.
Straight through the gap. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. In fact, this is...
너무 많이 잡은 거 아니야 저거?
That game over if she makes that hit.
yeah.
I don't know what she's doing
경이
here.
안쪽을 가려야 되는데.
She probably see that better when she's down in a hack. She may notice that or not.
사실 라인 괜찮아.
I think I would notice it.
Staring her in the face.
Yes.
갔는데.
She's
My
not even
goodness.
looking at it. I'll just come through that hole, pop that blue one out.
반 개만 아까보다 반 개만 더 잡아줘.
game over.
Of course, for her, the danger is if she touches that yellow stone on the top there, then they just draw for two.
It's just trying to guard her own, maybe.
Yes, I think so. It might not be such...
If this
A
guard's
bad
not
shot.
perfect, though, it's
어디? 확실히 어딘데?
a hit for two to tie.
I think this
여기 준비해.
might be the right decision.
웨이트 확실히.
So,
약간 쳐.
Even if she taps it in a bit further, it's not that bad a shot. Yeah, it's
얼만데?
pretty good there.
Du behöver inte flytta den så mycket. Nej, precis. Lite.
Vilken fart för att träffa hålet.
Är det en
bakfyra. Nej,
60?
det ser ganska trångt ut.
yeah, it's not bad.
No, it's a good shot.
Ja, max va? Ja.
Det är så nära ändå så jag tror inte
70?
är någon fara. Men det är typ en linje. Ja.
Pretty hard to get that that shot rock out of there without losing your shooter.
Känns det då så?
She's got to try it though. She doesn't need to move it far, only half a rock, and then keep her shooter. I think that rock is there actually.
Lite mer fart än
Yeah, she just needs to touch it.
70?
Det är bra det.
Ja.
Jag tror inte det är svinlätt där.
Nej,
Det är över
The
stark
shot's
spår.
definitely there.
Lite
precis.
liv i den där också så blir den jättebra.
Ja. Var nära hela tiden så kan rycka lite.
Just come through the gap there, tap the yellow out, roll your shooter across, and you've got two, and we're into an extra end. Sissy Östlund has to make this shot to proceed any further in this tournament. Out turn, tap back. She got enough weight. It's curling a long way. She got the weight to get through and the line.
And she's touched the top one. That's game.
That is game. One shot to Korea, team of Eunchong Kim. And they will win by a count of 6 shots to 3 with that stolen point in the last end and proceed into the semi-finals.
To see live results of some of the other games, go to curlingchampionstour.org. All the results will be on there. There's 2 more games in play. Extra end here, Tirensoni, Sidorova. And in the last end, also Hasselberg and Jones, they're all tied up. Jones having the hammer, but in a little bit of trouble.
So from Armin Harder and from me with the scoreline 6-3 for the Kim team from Yusong, Korea, defeating Sigfridsson and proceeding to the semi-finals. It's a very good morning from here in Stockholm, and please join us again at 1 p.m. Central European time for the semi-final game.